Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wind, Reel, and Print. My name is Ryan, and today I am in beautiful Altadena, California, to speak with my friend Chris. Thanks for being here, Chris.
Of course. Happy to be here.
Yes.
Happy to have you recording, as Matthew McConaughey might say, on location.
Yes. TiVo? You got your TiVo? Do you have TiVo? No, probably.
No,
we
I
don't
do
use
not.
TiVo anymore. And they didn't. I don't think he ever got the TiVo. Oh, he got it at the end.
He did. It's a big part of the movie.
It's a big part of the movie. It's the final climax. Today we are talking about Zoolander and Tropic Thunder, two classic films. I think probably to both of us growing up.
Yeah.
Very influential and important. Oscar worthy.
Certainly one was Oscar nominated.
Yeah. Oh, was it?
Yes.
What was it? Oh, was RDJ?
RDJ, Best Supporting Actor, lost to Heath Ledger for The Dark Knight.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, what a year.
I know.
What a year.
Stacked.
Stacked. That's a hard one to top. But yeah, no. So we'll talk about that. But before we get into that, I wanted to just upfront say yeah. So you run a YouTube channel, right? Sassy Milkshake.
Yes.
And I would say that, we did a couple episodes where we talked about movies, and that's a little bit the inception for this podcast.
Ooh,
a little
all
bit.
right.
I wanted to give you a little bit of credit that you started me on this journey of talking about movies into microphones.
I appreciate that. Don't go looking for those videos. I've set them all to private.
Yes.
I'm glad that some good came out of talking about movies on the internet.
Do you remember what we did? I know we did. We talked about the Pixar. We ranked Pixar films. But do you remember?
Yes.
There was another one, because that was I think it was like your apartment or something like that. And then I remember we also talked about some other movie. Do you remember?
We did reviews of The Edge of 17 with Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah.
And did we review The House with Will Ferrell and Amy Poehler? Were you in that? I don't remember.
I saw that with you.
Okay, then
So
we must have done that
did.
together as well. Yeah. And we may have done like our best and or worst of the year.
Oh, totally.
Something like that. But I definitely remember The Edge of 17 and The House being two things that we watched and reviewed together.
Yes. And we watched them for the audience. We watched them like the previews, audience previews, test screenings. And we both got selected for Edge of 17, at least, for the question portion.
Yeah. They really valued our opinion. They saw us in the theater and they were like,
White.
What are these
White.
What are these two young white men doing watching this coming of age movie about a high school girl?
That's what it totally that's why they chose us.
And then when they asked us originally, we were like, oh, we like Woody Harrelson, but really it was like we wanted to see a movie for free.
Yeah.
But you can't say that.
You can't. So. And you're not supposed to, if you're in the industry, even see the movies at all.
That's true.
That's the idea too. And I think we were both tangentially kind of in the industry in some way.
The industry has done a really great job of keeping me out so that I can go to test screenings.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Who do we thank for that? That's a good question. That's a
good
higher
question.
Up. Yeah. The cabal.
Yeah, that's right. Big thank you to the cabal of Hollywood elites.
Yes, thank you
so much.
Appreciate it.
I watched so many bad movies for free.
Yes. Yeah, that's great. How often do you go to test screenings? Is that something you do every so often?
I haven't done it in a while.
Yeah.
I think the last one I went to, it wasn't a test screening, but it was like an early access screening for Knives Out, which would have been 2019. I think that's the last time I went to one.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
At least, did you like Knives Out?
I did. Yeah.
That's a fun one.
I liked The Edge of 17.
Yeah.
I even kind of liked The House, I think.
It felt kind of irreverent and
but when I don't know if you've, and why would you, have gone back to watch The House after it came out, a lot of the things I remember liking apparently ended up on the cutting room floor because I distinctly remembered certain scenes and then the movie would happen and I'd be like, where were those? So our influence was not as great as maybe we thought it was.
And I think they didn't bring us down to be questioned on that one, so that's on them.
That's true.
Yeah, so we didn't actually even get to, but they probably, because do they I'm so used to nowadays, especially horror movies, they use the test screenings as like as a marketing push now. Like they're like, all right, we film in night vision and test their heart rates, and we use eyeball technology to see how their pupils expand. I think that was for the what was the not Brie Larson, the Dave Franco movie Together. Yeah. They did that. There was something about like how the eyes dilated was a part of it. Maybe they looked at us in oh my God, night vision, and were like, ooh. What they like did not work.
Did you also go with me to see the Katherine Heigl Rosario Dawson movie? Was it called Irresistible, maybe?
I did.
Yeah, that was one. And I distinctly remember that because they also came up to us before the screening started and they were like, hey, do you want to stick around for questions at the end? And we were like, sure. And then after the movie ended, they were like, we're not going to bother with questions. You can all go home.
That movie was such a turd. It was crazy.
Yeah, and I wish that they had filmed me in night vision for that one.
Because I think most people were laughing when they shouldn't have laughed.
Yes. It was. It got to be, once we all in the audience realized we were on the same page, it became a very funny movie.
Exactly. And there's you can't, oh man, what a waste for those people. That one was crazy because it just felt like that kind of turd that a studio has that they don't know what to do with. They kind of know it's a turd. They just kind of, if it obviously did eventually come out and it just disappeared into the ether.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember much. I just remember Katherine Heigl was.
That was crazy. I don't remember much either. I remember a scene where she was like brushing her hair in the mirror and we were all laughing.
You're right. Oh my God. Wow. What an amazing thing. So, this is what living in LA is like.
It's true. There probably are more screenings I could go to, but I like to go to a movie that's in theaters by myself. I don't mind just showing up to the theater, but for those test screenings, you have to show up early and wait in a long line. And that's so boring if you're just by yourself. So that's part of why I haven't gone to one, since you've moved away. Some of the other people I would go to are either too busy or they've moved away as well. And so it's just not worth it to try and find somebody else who you're like, hey, do you want to see this movie? It's for free, but it might be awful.
There's obviously something wrong with it. Usually some weird.
I asked this girl out and we went to a test screening. And we saw the Zach Galifianakis, Kristen Wiig, Owen Wilson movie Masterminds. And we did not go on a second date. So I think that was part of my realization that maybe I shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, it ain't a date.
Yeah.
This is not that. I realized I haven't actually given any context to our relationship at all. We went to college together.
We did.
Yes. So we met in screenwriting. You were the star of the film that I would direct. The short that we filmed in screenwriting at the end of the year. Basically, the teacher was like, all right, we're going to turn. Was it your screenplay? I'm trying to remember whose screenplay it was.
Well, there was a screenplay that I can't. Which one did you direct?
I don't know. It's the one. It was the bar one. Do you remember? Like there was something about a bar, and it was you and a girl or woman, and I directed it with Madeline. Cuthbertson, but now her name is different.
That does not ring a single bell for me.
This is bad.
So it's possible it's not even me. But
it definitely was you.
Okay.
I remember the there is a photo. I think where is it? I think I might have put it on my really old Instagram at a certain point.
Okay.
But it was in Bob Reynolds' class there at the end. Wow, you really
maybe that sounds a little familiar.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's tough to know because not to brag, but
you blacked it out.
That year that we met, you and I were like everyone's go-to actors
Yeah.
for everyone's like thesis films and final projects. And so a lot of my acting really runs together because I don't have a ton of range as an actor, so all of those characters feel very similar.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember so I would eventually star in a film that you wrote, A Grim Tale.
Yes.
I think that's such a big thing for the two of us.
Yeah.
We're both on the poster.
We're both on the poster, and that taught me a lot about film sets and the industry, how it works on a micro level.
Yes.
And this is a nice way of me dancing around like
it was awful.
It was a bad time for me.
Yeah.
And having to go from what my filmmaking quote unquote experience used to be, which was like, we're all here to have fun and make something we love, to go into like, this is my way or the highway.
Yeah.
And
because a director
we don't respect each other.
Because the director that came on, who should not be named. I actually don't remember. Oh, you probably remember. That's fine. Of course. That's fine. But he was someone like basically it was like a student-run production company called UTV.
Yes.
And it was just basically getting started, or UTV Studios, or whatever it was at the time. And everyone was getting their own roles. You had written something, so the script was selected by a vote or something like that, but the director was also selected by a vote, or I'm not even sure how.
My understanding of how this process went down, and so
were you not in the room where it happened?
In the way it ultimately happened, I was in that room. I believe there were several rooms that led up to that final room.
Cigar smoke filled.
But my understanding of what happened is someone the person who ended up directing was either he was told or he told the UTV faculty oversight,
whatever that was,
that role is called. Somehow it was decided he had written a script, he was going to make his little short film, and we were all the resources from UTV were going to come together to help him achieve that goal.
Yes.
And somewhere along the line, it became like, well, if we are all going to work on this project, we all want it to be something that we want to work on.
Yeah.
And so several scripts got submitted at that point, including his.
Yeah.
And then including mine. And it was put to a vote, and mine was selected. But he was already in that position of like, but I'm going to direct because that's what I either was told or told somebody else. And so you had a director who didn't want to make this short film having to make it for a group that voted to make it.
Yes, exactly. So. Yeah, it was a movie made by committee in some ways, and what the movie he wanted to make was very artistic. We'll say quote unquote poetic, maybe.
Sure. Yeah.
I remember some of the images were like, monsoons over the desert, and it would go in reverse and show the raindrops in reverse going back into the clouds.
Yeah, that was a guy like trekking across the desert in like I think the Wild West. I don't fully remember the details of it, but it was something to that effect. And then he was selected to direct a dark comedy
about like a Grim Reaper that goes against the devil, basically.
Yeah, well, like hates his job.
Yes. Yeah. And it ends up kind of being a parallel or like taking on like, these kind of like corporate jobs and like doing these things.
Yeah.
And I would go on to play Greg Eaper, the Grim Reaper.
Yes.
And it's funny. Speaking of like our acting abilities, and you would play the devil.
Yes,
we should clarify.
Yeah.
So it was mano y mano. Right. It was us against the world. And, I would end up, whenever the director wanted me to say a line, I would say it. he would ask me to say it again, and I would say it the exact same way. There was no, I can't do variation. And like, I'm a parrot when it comes to these things. And I think like, it might've been the same thing. I know you were doing some dubbing of like Justice League stuff or something like in your channel early days. And I think I did some voices for that. And I think I probably gave like the lowest range I possibly could, because I just don't have that sauce. I don't know. I think I've gotten a little bit better. I play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons now. And so I got to play a lot of characters.
Yes.
So I think I've gotten better. My players seem to think, because I'm a dungeon master, my players seem to think I'm okay. So I maybe have improved a little bit.
I also think that my acting abilities have improved as well. And I think that part of it is, I mean, I'm awful in a Grim Tale. That's maybe my worst performance I've ever given.
It's not on streaming, folks. I don't think.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be my worst performance. I think that, though, a big part of how I used to act when I was doing high school theater or short films or sketches was, I think I was putting more external pressure on performances.
Yeah.
In terms of like, hey, if the right person sees this, it could change my whole life.
So you were really building up this Grimtail performance, huh? Is that what you're saying?
A little bit. I mean, not by the time we were in production, I was like, nobody's gonna see this. But,
you were that sure of it, huh? That's funny.
Yeah, well, because I was also working on my senior short film at the same time.
The tandem
right here on the shelf.
Yes,
between
I own it as well.
Idiocracy and The Incredibles, of course.
Yes. Fitting.
But yeah, that was such, like, that production had its issues as well, but it was still such a better working experience. And the product came out better.
Yeah, because it had a vision, and you and the director like actually saw eye to eye, is my understanding.
Yeah, and so that, I mean, the dichotomy of doing those two shorts at the same time was really eye-opening in terms of like, what if I wanted to continue a filmmaking career, what are the things I should look for on set? What are things I should be trying to avoid? And so I also don't have any lines, I don't think, in tandem, which helps my performance.
Yeah. Actually, I don't even remember your role in that.
I play a criminal.
Oh yeah, you jump over a fence.
I jump over a fence, and then this wasn't in the script, but I do. On the day, as an actor, I was surprised to learn I was going to be tackled to the ground and handcuffed.
By someone playing a police officer, and you got wrecked.
That guy was into it.
You got wrecked. Oh, that reminds me. There was a guy named Jeremy who performed alongside me in A Grimtail. He was like a guy, because there were a few like locals, because this is in Flagstaff, Arizona, Northern Arizona. It's like we went to Northern Arizona University, and that's kind of like the ugly stepchild school in Arizona, basically. Yeah. Up in the mountains. It's a very outdoorsy town, but the people that are actors that kind of land there are interesting, because you also kind of get the Sedona folks too, which are also fairly interesting. Yeah. And so this guy, Jeremy, took his role very seriously as another like Grim Reaper character. And we get into like a fight at a certain point, and there's a slap, I think, was written in the script, and I couldn't get myself to or like a punch or something like that, and I couldn't, we were faking it, and he begged me to hit him in the face, and I just couldn't do it. I don't got it in me.
I also can't do that.
Yeah, I don't have it in me. That's proof to me I don't got the sauce to be an actor. I don't.
Yeah, think. I don't think I do either. I do still do a lot of writing, and in most things there is a part for me, but it's always like very simple. It's always like a guy sitting down. It's always a guy on the phone.
Yes.
Something very easy, but delivers some crucial pieces of information, so you can't get cut from the final project.
Oh my God. That reminds me, you wrote a screenplay do you remember that screenplay you did like about a family? I think it was like a feature film. Yeah. I remember that being pretty good.
Yeah, that one, it's been 11 years since I
yeah.
wrote it. So there are things that I still need to go back and change because now they are outdated.
Yes.
There
and you're, you've grown in
Sure.
yourself and in understanding. Maybe that plays a part of it too.
Yeah, I mean, I've been always kind of going back to some of the ones that I felt like were good, and that's one of them.
Yeah.
And tweaking it every year or so. But it's finally gotten to the point because that took place at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And there was a big action set piece during Black Friday.
Oh yeah.
And I'm finally at the point of like, that doesn't happen anymore.
No, yeah.
Every now and then you can find like an article that's like Black Friday got crazy this year in this rural town.
Exactly. But
It's not enough to justify putting it in there. So I have to figure out how to change it and what to kind of tweak some of that stuff around to be. But yeah, there's a lot of scripts out there. But the Hollywood cabal.
And we don't mean this. This is not, I'm going to say, not anti-Semitic. We are not going cabal.
Cabal
in a
the
very.
Cabal is very inclusive.
It's very inclusive.
It's just exclusive of
yes,
me.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Yes. I want to be clear here. Yeah. Oh my God. That's so funny. Yeah. And then just to round this off, I also ended up directing a film that we wrote together.
Yeah, we wrote it together.
Yeah, Act Your Age, which was a lot of fun. I look back and I wish I was better at directing and all of that. But
there's so many things like even like high school speech and debate that I used to compete in. I'm like, man, I wish I could get in there as a 32-year-old man.
Please let me in.
Crush those teenagers.
Yeah, I look back and I'm just like, oh God, I wish. But the premise of Act Your Age was so. I still look back and I'm just like so proud of it as like an idea. It was so much fun.
It came out, especially. I think that was my first experience co-writing. Maybe.
Yeah.
And it ended up coming together. I think pretty well for what our skill set was at the time and everything. I think it still works.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. It was about an actor who, a down and out child actor who decides to try to get back into acting, child acting though. And so he ends up trying to get those roles again. And obviously things, and this is all just a short film. And then things kind of get crazy. He eventually does a reverse birthing mattress scene. And that's obviously, that's the pinnacle of everything I've ever made.
We were very proud of that when we came up with it.
Yes. So like Scream Therapy and stuff like that, they that primal gotta be birthed again.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm still very proud of that. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a blast. So we are here to talk about some movies.
We are.
Yes. And movies that maybe influenced a lot of what we just talked about.
Sure.
And so I wanted to, before we jump in, I threw it to you. Like I was like, oh, hey, you know what? What would be a good topic for you? And you came up with these. Mm-hmm. What's the impetus behind that? Why these two together and why them at all?
Sure. I mean, they obviously have their direct, clear similarities, right?
Yes.
Both written and directed by Ben Stiller. Justin Theroux's playing the same character in both movies.
Yeah.
I think Lance Bass is in both movies.
Wait, who's Justin Theroux in Tropic Thunder?
Justin Theroux is very briefly seen at one of the cast parties in the beginning of the movie, still playing his dreadlock DJ character.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
nice. Okay,
so they're both. So he's in both of those as the same guy.
Yeah.
Lance Bass has those cameos.
Yeah.
But the reason that they are so intrinsically linked to me is, and this again goes back to high school. These are like classic high school boy comedies.
Oh my God.
From
Yeah.
the 2000s.
It had been a while since I saw a dick joke sort of thing, like the Zoolander, like the penis under the thing.
Yeah.
And I remember that killing when I was, oh my God, it blew my mind.
But I, in high school, had an iPod Touch.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And so, obviously you put some music on there, but there's also space now where I can just watch a movie anywhere I go.
Whoa. So that opened your mind. That was a big deal.
Yeah. And then you have to be selective because you don't have the thousands or even hundreds of movies you can't put on there. You can only put on a handful of video megabytes onto this iPod. And so I chose Zoolander and Tropic Thunder. And then I think I had like an episode of Psych and maybe an episode of like Family Guy.
That would have been great to do all 4 of those for this.
Yeah.
Just what was on Chris's iPod Touch?
Yeah. And I don't remember which episode of Family Guy it was, but I definitely remember it was the Friday the 13th parody episode of Psych.
Oh, okay. I've never seen Psych. So you like it?
As far as a week to week procedural goes, I don't know how it would work in, the binging streaming era.
Yeah.
But for the time, hey, there's a good time.
Okay.
But these 2 movies, then I would be like, oh, I have 10 minutes before class starts. I'll watch 10 minutes of Tropic
So you were
Thunder.
microdosing.
I was microdosing Ben Stiller movies in high school. Yeah.
Oh, God.
So I've seen these 2 films a ton.
Yeah.
And especially in those formative teenage years.
Yes.
I hadn't seen them in a while.
Yeah.
Except for Tropic Thunder, which I watched maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And part of why that happened was, I watched those 2 movies over and over again years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't keep up on watching them because I've seen them a bunch.
Yes.
Rewatching them for this podcast, I was like reawoken like a sleeper agent when some of those dialogue things came out. I was like, I remember this whole movie. But a couple years ago, my now wife was like, oh, what should we watch? We watched a lot of stuff. I feel like we're watching a lot of stuff that you think I would like. What's something that you liked? Should we watch Tropic Thunder? And I was like, okay, I kind of don't think you're going to like it, but let's see. And we watched it. She did not enjoy it, but rewatching it, or maybe just watching a movie in general with someone else who like clearly doesn't like it, really changed my opinion of Tropic Thunder.
Yeah.
To the point where I was like, maybe I don't like this anymore. The same thing happened. We watched Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and it was another one of like, oh, maybe I didn't like this as much as I thought I did. Maybe I've changed or matured. These were like big
That's like the same
teenage
year too,
movies.
I think.
I believe they are the
08.
same year.
Yeah.
And then I have rewatched both of those movies since.
Mm-hmm.
My wife and I rewatched Forgetting Sarah Marshall when we were in Hawaii.
Oh,
because she was like, "Well, what's a Hawaii movie we can watch?"
I love watching a movie in Hawaii. You got the beautiful island, but you see it from someone else's perspective.
Exactly. We were on the island of Kauai. Let's see what Oahu looks like. But we rewatched it, and she liked it a lot more the second time she watched it.
Okay.
We have not taken that leap with Tropic Thunder.
Yeah.
I did rewatch it by myself for this podcast and was concerned going into it. I was like, for both of these, I guess.
Yeah.
But like, am I going to not enjoy these? Mm-hmm. And I did enjoy them.
I had a blast.
Yeah.
I completely agree. It's funny. My sister has this visceral hatred of Tropic Thunder. She's 10 years younger than me. Mm-hmm. And I think her reasons are probably reasons that a lot of people dislike it. I mean, there are reasons to hate Tropic Thunder, and I completely understand that. And as two like really multicultural individuals, I think like we're the people to talk on these things. Of course. But for me, especially Tropic Thunder. Oh, I mean, both are skewering an industry, right?
Yes.
And they're really very explicit about that. And I think that's what really works about Tropic Thunder, especially, is the fact that it's doing things that on paper are insane.
Yeah.
And you would never select that, and people would be, and I'd be, people always talk about, would this movie be made today, and yada yada, and it's possible like this movie would have a hard time being made today, and I can understand that, but it's
definitely with its current script. I feel like there's some like I don't think the plot would be an issue. Like
Yeah.
some movies, you go back and you're like, they can't make this today because the entire story is a problem.
Yes, yeah.
These two movies have scenes and jokes that are gonna get cut in 2025.
I'm thinking about Zoolander, the bulimic anorexic thing. Felt such of the time, that joke or whatever it was. I was like, oh whoa, that one just felt like a time capsule, which was interesting.
It's tough. Some of those,
and the midgets, I think, too.
Yeah, I mean, some of those things are tough because I don't know that, like, I mean, and again, this is like not really something that I'm qualified to defend or
we've
not.
Clarified.
Yeah. But my interpretation, I guess, of like the dwarf band or whatever their role was in Zoolander was not like, haha, isn't that funny?
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, here's a random group that's here with Hansel.
Yes.
Same with the Sherpa that comes in like immediately after.
Yes.
It's just like, look at all these crazy, quirky people that hang out with him together.
Yeah, it's kind of like a circus. Like there's so many different things that are happening, and obviously, like it especially in that. What are we talking? Is it 2003 when Zoolander came out?
Zoolander came out in the shadow of 9/11.
Oh, you're right. It came out
after.
Yeah. They, I was reading, they actually scrubbed out the two towers from the opening scene or wherever it was.
Yeah, wherever they were.
It probably was at the end when you see the school on the water.
Yeah, that would make sense.
They've since put it back in, which is interesting. The two towers.
I don't think that was in the version I watched, although I wasn't really looking for the towers. So,
really? You weren't?
I wasn't.
Relics of 9/11's past.
I rewatched because on my YouTube channel I've been just making different movie montages, and one of the things I've been doing is just going through and just pulling a bunch of movies from different states.
Yeah.
And so I was doing the New York video not that long ago and pulled the trailer for World Trade Center, the Oliver Stone movie.
Oh yeah.
And that trailer, it shows the plane, the shadow of the plane going across New York City, and it crosses a gigantic advertisement for Zoolander. So those two things they
are intertwined.
It's like Zoolander and The Amazing Race are two things that are just like unfortunately linked to 9/11 based on when they came out.
Yeah. I know Lilo and Stitch had a similar thing. I forget exactly. Maybe that didn't come out till 2002.
I think that's 2002. Yeah, but they had to redo their whole final action sequence.
Yeah. We talked about it on the pod a little bit, and it's that's you do what you got to do.
Yeah, I mean that's
Sopranos, same thing too. Like the opening scene, the opening credits had the two towers.
Yeah, and things like that still kind of happen. They just pulled like that Jessica Chastain show, Savant.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw her post. I don't really know enough about it, but
I don't know enough about the show. But what I heard is that it was pulled due to depictions of extremist killings, which has been going around in the news lately. Also, the movie Gangster Squad had to change their ending.
Gangster Squad? What the fuck?
Gangster Squad was the lesser known of the Ryan Gosling, Emma Stone collaborations.
It's a period piece. Yes.
And originally ended with the gangsters coming into a movie theater and shooting up the bad guy. I believe it, or it may have been that the bad guys came into the movie theater. I don't remember, but that was the scene was people come into a movie theater with guns. Yeah. And obviously that Dark Knight Rises shooting in Colorado, they had to go back and
change that,
reshoot that ending for Gangster Squad.
Yeah, I know after Tenet, they've got that whole thing at the beginning where there's a shootout, some sort of hostage crisis in a like an opera or like some sort of like theater. And I know something happened a little bit after that was very similar or whatever. So that's that is the nature of these things. They come out and they are intertwined with, I mean, these movies got to be released. There is a marketing push. There is a lot of money behind it. And so they're always just like, please, I hope the actors don't say anything that we have to cover up and nothing comes out. All of those things are very important. Feels like Tropic Thunder though, you know, kind of escapes a little bit in terms, like, because it's so like contained in this really unique world. I guess there's some what you might consider dated elements, but just to zoom in on one, Zoolander, if we can just go there. Did you know there's an animated Zoolander movie?
I did hear that when I think that we looked at some of the same research,
yes,
i.e. Wikipedia pages.
Hey, look at that.
And I saw that as well because there is a sequel to Zoolander, which we're not prepared to talk about.
I have not seen it. Did you end up watching it?
When it came out. I was so excited. Yeah. And then the trailer came out and I was like, this probably isn't going to be very good, but I'm very excited still. And then I saw it and it's not very good. Yeah. Kyle Mooney is in it and
we love Kyle.
He crushes in that movie. Yeah. But everything else kind of misses the mark. Yeah. And there's some, I think, much more divisive or problematic things surrounding that. But I saw that basically when that came out, they also had the animated thing come out at the same time or the same year. Yeah. But I've not seen the animated.
Yeah. I saw a trailer for it and I was like, the animation ain't half bad. Like I was actually like, oh, this actually looks good, but it has terrible reviews. So I'm like, I really am curious, just like that is Zoolander and Hansel are superheroes. They're called Zoolander supermodels. And so they like fight crime like Powerpuff Girls style. In the city is what I saw. Yeah, that's just, you know, we got the Zoolander extended cinematic universe. I think that's yeah. Which, you know, there is a Ben Stiller, you know, cinematic universe in a way. It feels like he pulls in a lot of the same people, like you mentioned, Justin Theroux being in it, Lance Bass, very important figures in these movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, it's interesting how that works. Do you remember like the first time you saw Zoolander at all?
I don't think I remember the first time I saw Zoolander. I do remember the first time I saw Tropic Thunder. And so I don't know which one I saw first.
Oh, you think you would have seen possibly Tropic Thunder first? I may have
seen Tropic Thunder first.
Oh, wow.
I'm not sure. I definitely remember Tropic Thunder I saw with my family. Yeah. And, you know, my dad, my brother, and I really liked it. Yeah. My mom, not so much.
Yeah, I'm trying. I probably just watched it with like my friends. I don't really remember watching it with my family, but I did see it in theaters. And I remember in high school, it was a big deal. Like that and Step Brothers had come out around the same time. And it was like, oh, which one do you like more? And I think I kind of liked Step Brothers more. I think that was more like my humor at the time, which is just like insane Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly stuff, like in the Talladega Nights vein, right? But I just remember that was a thing. Yeah.
I saw it. I did not see it in theaters. I saw it at home.
You didn't see Tropic Thunder in theaters?
No, and it was...
You hate movies.
Well, you know, I believe I was too young to see it without a guardian.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Because it definitely was rated R.
It was definitely rated R.
Yeah, true.
And my parents were definitely like, or at least my mom, I think, was really like, we're not going to see that. I think probably because she didn't want to see it.
Yeah. Respect. Control the family in that way. That's very respectful.
Do you remember the first movie you saw that was rated R without a guardian? Because I do remember
without
for
a guardian. Ooh, that's a great. The one thing that comes to mind is my first NC-17 without a guardian, which I've like all kind of rapid because there's not a lot of NC-17s.
I was gonna say I don't know if I've seen an NC-17.
I know, and I saw it in a seedy New York theater. That's when it was Shame with Michael Fassbender's Shame, directed by Steve McQueen. Steve McQueen?
Yeah, you got it right.
I did?
Yeah.
But isn't
he
that
has the
famous
same name?
Oh, he has the exact same name.
Yes.
There you go, folks. I remember watching that and that I because that was 2012, so that would have meant I was 20. But that's definitely, I definitely would have seen R-rated movies before that. I don't remember. What was your...
My friend Andrew and my friend Hannah, the three of us went to see Get Him to the Greek.
Oh,
which,
nice.
Has a lot of problematic people in the top billings slots.
It literally ends up at like a P. Diddy party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
I was
does.
just talking about that last night with some friends. It was like, they were like, what? I'm like, yeah, you guys don't remember? That's where it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also just not like particularly funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just in general.
Yeah. I think something that, and maybe we can even just jump into this, is like kind of the trajectory of aughts comedies. Like there's certain veins of these things. And I think Ben Stiller and had his own brand, right?
Yeah.
Like all the way back to Cable Guy, which is a movie that was very influential to me growing up. What about you? Did you watch Cable Guy at all?
Not really. I've seen it, but it wasn't big in my upbringing.
Yeah. I don't know why it was. I think for me, like I used to go to the video store a lot. Warehouse Video. It ended up becoming a Blockbuster, so it's not really that special. And now it's obviously gone. Yeah. And then my dad would have like random DVD. Like I found this like set of random DVDs he had, not porn, in the laundry room, and it was like The Matrix, Perfect Storm, and I think Zoolander were like three of the movies that were in there. And so I remember having Zoolander on DVD, and I must have gotten Cable Guy on DVD at a certain point too. But obviously Jim Carrey, I was a huge Jim Carrey guy. But the aughts had, Ben Stiller. They had like the Seth Rogen band.
Yeah.
I guess, which I guess would be Judd Apatow.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
The Frat Pack, as they're known.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, so we got the Frat Pack. We've got like Ben Stiller's comedy, and then I felt like we already mentioned someone that was something else. Can you think of like another? Well, obviously,
I mean, Will Ferrell he's sort of connected to. I mean, these aren't necessarily three separate circles. They're all. There's a little bit of overlap with each one.
But you're right. Will Ferrell
is definitely someone big in that time period. I can't think of anybody else off the top of my head. I mean, you had like the Simon Pegg, Edgar Wright stuff was starting to pop off right at that time as well.
Yeah, you get like other random, like, because obviously sex comedies were kind of big around that time. So you've got like Harold and Kumar, you've got like American Pie. Those kind of feel a little different. This is like what was really popular. Like these movies were very successful, very popular. I mean, and maybe I'm just saying that because it was like I was the demographic. Like they were.
Sure.
I was. These were like movies that were exactly what I needed to see. Wanted to see.
And 2009 is when The Hangover came out, and that's probably the big shift in where comedies kind of went towards. But that's the end of the decade, and so I think before that it is Ben Stiller, Will Ferrell, and the Frat Pack team.
Oh, that's a really good point. Yeah, we talk about on this pod a little bit, and we'll eventually do an episode on like blockbusters of the early 2000s too. Yeah, and how those are such a unique brand that basically once Iron Man comes out in 2008, like everything changes. Everything kind of explodes off of that. But like you've got all these Gore Verbinski movies and Bruckheimer films, like and Emmerich films and things like that were kind of, and the Spider-Man, X-Men. It's just, I think it's because we were kind of going through it as well. I find that period to be very, very interesting, where things kind of branched off and how like the 90s kind of formed into this. And you can clearly see, especially with Judd Apatow, Freaks and Geeks being from the 90s, pushing it through. Ben Stiller comes out of the 90s as well. Right. Will Ferrell, I don't know, how much did he do in the 90s? Because he didn't get onto SNL until like 2000, right?
He's still, I believe he's on SNL in the late 90s because he pops into the Austin Powers franchise as Mustafa one of Dr. Evil's henchmen.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's another good, I think Austin Powers is another, and I think it's almost like SNL branched comedy, which I think is something too. Like we get some of these people that come off that. Okay.
And then I think that The Ladies' Man and Night at the Roxbury come out. They certainly come out before Elf, which is 2003. Mm-hmm. And I think they come out before Zoolander, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. I feel like Night at the Roxbury for sure.
Yeah. It feels like it would have to.
Yeah. Because it feels like, and I certainly did not come prepared to talk about Will Ferrell's career, but it felt like,
me neither.
It felt like after Mugatu, there was like it was big after that. Like it felt like there was a big shift in like the movies like he was doing, and he would go on, I think, to really be a leading man in a lot of things. I think Talladega Nights being like the other really big thing that would propel him forward.
Yeah. I mean, he had, so he shows up, this is, I guess not his biggest role, because his biggest role would have been Night at the Roxbury in this time period as a lead. And he's the villain in Zoolander as Jacobim Mugatu.
Do you remember what of course you just watched it. What he invented?
Of course, he invented the piano key necktie. That's his big claim to fame. And now he's a big fashion designer.
Yeah.
And then 2 years later, he has Elf.
Elf is
year after
huge.
that, he has Anchorman.
Oh my God!
And
yes.
then,
okay.
I think 2006 is Talladega Nights.
Yeah.
And then Step Brothers 2008, which we've talked about. But yeah, he really went on a decade-long run.
Yeah, he was the king. For sure. And then John C. Reilly kind of gets brought into it. It's like kind of like the everyman. He's been in so much stuff, and a lot of like art house films for a while too.
Yeah.
Very versatile actor. Ben Stiller or John C. Reilly. Has that happened?
Not off the top of my head. I can't
combo.
think of anything that they've done together.
Because like basically kind of like Zoolander and Tropic Thunder, like after Tropic Thunder, these Ben Stiller comedies don't exist anymore.
No.
I mean, we could say Zoolander 2, obviously. We could say like some of these things, but those.
Yeah, but even that, like, it doesn't. Having seen Zoolander 2,
Zoolander number 2, I should
say.
Yes, like Chanel number 2.
It doesn't fit the same. Feeling. It's not even that like audience taste has changed, which sometimes happens when you have these big legacy sequels. But I think that it really is just like, this feels like you didn't quite take the right lessons from the first one of what we liked. It goes big into the like, the thing you must have loved about Zoolander is action and espionage. It's like, no. And celebrity cameos.
Oh,
and it's like,
of course.
There are some great cameos in Zoolander.
That is interesting how these move. Like, how do you make sequels to these? Anchorman 2 is another example of like taking what you thought you wanted, like the audience would want, and not exactly what works.
Yeah. I think Anchorman 2 does it a little bit better because it does still let more of the focus be on like, hey, these 4 guys are stupid, and that's what we like to see. And in Zoolander number 2, from what I remember, like they are still dumb, but there's so much more of a focus on like this globe-trotting expedition with Penelope Cruz as like an Interpol agent, and like that's not what I am here to see. But man, it must have, like, I'm just thinking from a writer's perspective, they probably thought this is fucking awesome. They're like, we found the reason. Ben Stiller has openly said, because he took a huge break from really like acting, or I guess he was still directing some stuff with Severance and Escape from Dannemora? At Dannemora?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either. He did Walter Mitty pretty soon after like Tropic, like 2012, I think. And then I think that's 2014, maybe. It's
But after Zoolander number 2, which is 2016, he took a big break, and he's recently, I think it was when he was promoting Nutcrackers last year, which was direct to Hulu.
Yeah. Is that the Ryan Reynolds, Will Ferrell movie?
No, that's Spirited.
Oh, yeah.
Nutcrackers is David Gordon Green, I think.
Oh, and it stars Ben Stiller?
Stars Ben Stiller as this guy who finds out that his sister and her husband, or like his in-laws, at a sibling level, died in like a car accident. Now he has to come in and take care of their unruly children. Yeah, is basically the premise. And that was like the first Ben Stiller vehicle in like 7 years, maybe. Yeah. And he, on the press tour, he was like, the reviews of Zoolander number 2 like messed me up. Did not think
so
that
he
it was
really
gonna
thought
be,
he had it. Interesting.
or at least he didn't think he had fumbled it so bad that he was gonna get like torn apart.
Yeah. That is interesting. Something that came as you were talking. I forgot about Dodgeball. Yeah. Dodgeball, Ben Stiller, Vince Vaughn, who is also kind of like an actor in this.
Yeah, he sort of floats between a lot of those different circles.
Yes. But yeah, interesting. That came out. We keep getting, I say dates and you say different dates. But let's try to guess what this one is. Yeah. 2006.
I think it's 2004. Well, but it could be, it might be 2000.
You think 4?
I think 4. That's my guess. I'm going to go with 4.
Actually, could you look it up? Because I don't have your Wi-Fi.
I will look it up.
Okay. I think you're right with 2004. I think I'm fucking this up. I think your brain is more powerful than mine.
It is 2004.
Damn it. You see that, folks? We're, not all of us got it all together. And that's okay. If you could admit your mistakes and move on, we're going to move on, right? You're not going to hold this against me?
No, we're going to move on.
Okay, thank God. So it's interesting, the kind of like trajectory of these films and comedies of this era. And then here we are in 2025. And personally for me, I'd be curious what your thoughts are, but it feels like the Lonely Island gang are like the closest ones to like carrying this mantle of comedy that kind of came from there, that Ben Stiller perfected with these movies, which I think are perfect in like the way they fit that era for me. And maybe it's just because they are heart movies in a certain way for me. Even though I've got my critiques and everything, and I could I could say all those things, but it feels like Naked Gun, Pop Star, which Pop Star was another movie that we would possibly talk about. Yes, feel like this. Like kind of doing having that humor again, that fun again, right? Without trying to make it a whole thing. I don't know. What do you have any thoughts on that? Or
I would say, especially with The Naked Gun being a theatrical comedy, which like a lot was made of like, we don't get these anymore, blah blah blah.
That was the pitch they were making. You're right. Yeah, and maybe I'm kind of caught up in that pitch too. I don't know.
I mean, it was, as someone who went to the theaters and saw it, I was like, it was very nice to see something that silly again. And now I know they're trying to make more scary movies with the Wayans. But there is like, because somebody took the risk and did it. Yeah. Now people are like, maybe we can do it again. Yeah. And so now we're going to get a lot of bad comedies for sure. Totally. As everyone tries to rush out and try to catch the wave while they still can. Yeah. But it's tough because like there were always bad comedies coming out in the 2000s. Yeah. Like there were a ton of them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But we only remember the ones that are good. And the same thing will eventually happen as time continues to march forward.
Yeah, which it will.
Which it will, and I'm trying to stop it.
Yeah, desperately.
It keeps coming. But I think that I don't know enough about studio and movie making politics of the 2000s.
You live in LA though, don't you? Should.
Well,
it's in the water, isn't it?
I feel like I know how it is now. Is kind of where I'm going. I don't know how it was then, but it feels like studios are so much more afraid to do anything, and especially anything that can be in any way perceived as a risk.
Yes.
And so that's why I feel like it's much harder for them to start getting different comedies out there, or even just different types of movies in general. It's why it feels like you're only going to get horror movies and superhero movies for the next couple of years, is because people know that that's what works. You're starting to see more like romance movies come back into the mix because of some other successful ones. But hopefully The Naked Gun was enough of a success that we can start to bring some of that stuff back too. Yeah,
I agree. And I would love to see a Ben Stiller thing. Because obviously Ben Stiller has switched up and does a lot of directing now, or producing or what have you, with like Severance being his most successful project in recent memory. I'd be curious what the next thing is. I hope it's not a Tropic Thunder 2.
Me too.
Yeah.
And I say that, but I also am like, maybe you could satirize the movie studios today.
see, that like in theory, yeah, absolutely. Like I think, and that's what I think with like the scary movies that the Wayans brothers are going to cook up again. It's like you could do it.
There's material there for sure. I'm just concerned about.
Yeah, it's like almost like
how you would take it.
Yeah, it's almost just like they start to get older and like it just doesn't.
Yeah,
they don't got the sauce anymore. I don't know.
The problem is it wouldn't in any way make sense to bring back all those characters. You could bring back, and they've talked about since 2008.
Yeah.
Doing some sort of spin-off with Les Grossman, Tom Cruise's character.
Yes.
And then presumably Bill Hader would be back as well. But it wouldn't make sense for it to be another movie led by that same group of actors of Ben Stiller, Robert Downey Jr., Jack Black, Brandon T. Jackson, Jay Baruchel. It wouldn't make sense to bring them all back.
Yeah.
But I think that that's what they would feel like they're obligated to do.
Yeah.
So you're kind of stuck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because they're like, oh, we got to sell Tropic Thunder. They at least need to make cameos. They got to be in the trailer. They have to be in the trailer. Like, we can't have it any other way. And but there's some things so good about the idea of bringing it back. And it's the same, like, have you ever seen the Scream movies before?
Yes.
Yeah. So, like, the first Scream is great. Like, and these movies are all about kind of like, at least the first one, it gets less and less as time goes on, obviously. But it was so good at going at like finding that little niche and exploiting it, and being very meta about it and everything like that. I think Wes Craven, before he did Scream, he did something called New Nightmare. Have you heard of New Nightmare?
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it. But
it's Friday the 13th, or no, Nightmare on Elm Street sequel that has Freddy going into the real world and going after the actual actors that played the people in the movie. And that's another really good idea. Like, Wes Craven's actually in it. All the actors are in it. And there's something really fun to play with, like the studio, like just studios and movie making in general. That's something I feel like is missing. Obviously we have the show, The Studio, that is doing that. And I think it's doing a really good job of finding that little thing and kind of taking advantage of it. A movie that I brought up on the pod before and it's very influential to me. Have you ever seen Bowfinger?
I have not seen Bowfinger.
Oh,
I know.
Oh, I think you'd like Bowfinger. That one was also a very important movie for me. Steve Martin, Eddie Murphy. It's unbelievable. Highly, highly recommend. Very easy watch and very fun. Robert Downey Jr., very quick cameo in that movie. Okay. And so 90s Robert Downey Jr., that's like a rare card.
You don't get many of those.
You don't get many of those. Very exciting to spot one. Damn, I wish they had movie trading cards. That'd be fun. Were you a trading card guy? at all?
I'm trying to think. I had some trading cards, but I don't remember like what they were because they weren't sports things. So they must have been.
Like,
well, I don't know if. I guess these didn't come with this, so I don't know what in my mind I have for trading cards because I didn't have like Pokemon cards or anything like that. But I do remember having some trading cards of something.
Wow.
I know. That's obviously to answer your question, I was not big into trading cards.
Yes. Oh, I got that.
I did
now.
have them, but I couldn't tell you what they were.
Yeah, they were very.
And I certainly never traded any.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Yes.
I put them in I do remember putting them into a binder with little like card slots.
Whoa.
Couldn't tell you what I had though.
For whatever reason, for me, like that was such a religious experience, like cards and putting them in sleeves, that it still to me hits to this day. Like there's something about it that really gets me going. So for whatever reason, man, I would just love like to just say I have a rare 90s Robert Downey Jr. There's something about that I love. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have, as you can see if you're watching on video, I have a bit of a collector's mindset in my brain. There's something just really scratches an itch inside of me when I collect something.
Yeah. To talk about this wall, and for the audio listener, it is, I mean, how many movies do you have here, would you say?
Hundreds.
Hundreds of movies.
Yeah.
Have you seen every single one?
No, there's maybe 2 or 3 in here that I either got super cheap and heard they were good, or came as part of a collection, and I haven't.
But only that many? Only 2 or 3?
Yeah, there's only a handful in here that I haven't seen. Yeah,
that's actually amazing.
Yeah,
wow. I'm like looking through to ask you a question about one of them because I'm just like,
I think Jesus. Willow is down here. I've never seen Willow, but I got it super cheap.
Yeah. It's a good get. I also have not seen Willow, but that feels like a good, get that on the cheap for sure.
Yeah, I've got like I think in the Steven Spielberg collection down here.
Oh yeah.
There's a couple of his early movies that I haven't seen.
Oh yeah. I haven't seen like Duel, or I don't know if it even goes far back.
I've seen Duel. I don't remember if Duel's in there, but I haven't seen like 1941.
That comedy. Yeah, and he isn't even the full director of that. I think that movie has like, it's like Twilight Zone, where it's like a bunch of, because they were all working together at the time. It felt like directors of that era.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, there was something that's a funny trio. The Goonies, Gremlins, and Gremlins 2.
Yeah, it's it is a weird group. I bought it on DVD originally because I just saw it and I was like, I like all 3 of those movies. I'll get them in a space saving.
Why not? Yes.
And then I've slowly started to upgrade what I can into Blu-ray.
Yeah.
And so I was thrilled to find that they made that same collection in Blu-ray.
That is insane. Yeah, we did an episode on the Gremlins movies, and it was the first time I ever watched them, and I loved them.
Yeah,
especially like Gremlins 2. That's
kind of the same thing you were talking about with the sequels, of like that takes a lot of things that were enjoyable, but does it completely differently and in a way that arguably, if you're the studio that made that, you're in today's world, you're going to be like, absolutely not.
Yes. Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, that one is just so much fun, and it totally breaks the mold. And that's what I really love about Tropic Thunder, is that it is like the fact that it has trailers playing before the movie that you see. It's simple stuff like that you don't see in movies. Like in Gremlins 2, they break through the screen and the film burns. Hulk Hogan's there like yelling and stuff like that. And it's just like, damn, I personally, that's the kind of thing I want more of, that kind of meta thing, on meta commentary, I guess, on the industry. I know you've got a lot of thoughts on the industry, so maybe you got to be the one to
Well, I do have a lot of thoughts on the industry. I don't know how related they are to Zoolander and Tropic Thunder, though.
True. Tropic. Okay, so, Tropic Thunder. Do you have like a favorite character that you liked a lot? Like which one of those varying?
I mean, Robert Downey Jr.'s performance is incredible.
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
It's layered.
It is layered. and a lot of the lines that he says are like really funny to me, and not the like, you know, not necessarily the way he's saying them, but when he there's a scene where he approaches Ben Stiller and he's trying to get the map from him, and he's talking about how
it's so good,
how like good and muscular he looks.
Yeah.
And he says like, yeah, you're more shredded than a julienne salad. That's great. It's things like that I really gravitate towards. When I first saw it, my favorite character, of course, is Tom Cruise as Les Grossman.
Oh, of course, yes.
And then it sort of started to phase into Robert Downey Jr.'s performance. But watching it this most recent time, I was like, I think my favorite character is Jay Baruchel as Kevin Sandusky.
I had completely forgotten because I'd watched This Is the End fairly recently, and I was trying to tell Paula, my wife and partner in crime, as we were watching it, I was like, I don't know what other movies this guy has been in, and I had completely forgotten he's in Tropic Thunder.
But he's great, and This Is the End.
Yes,
this is very funny.
Yes. And another important, you needed that kind of character. The scene where they're pissing and kind of, I mean, it's just so good. Robert Downey Jr. goes there first and is like trying to convince him to get the map and all of that. And then Ben Stiller comes up and he's like pretending to piss, but stabs with a knife into like a booty sweat bottle. And it's like spraying everywhere. Oh my God.
This will get cut out, but I was truly jump scared at the beginning of Zoolander when Donald Trump makes a cameo.
I know. Yeah,
because I knew a lot. I remembered like Natalie Portman and like Cuba Gooding Jr. Like I remember a lot of the people that pop up there, and it was like,
and not only, and it was Melania as well. It was like, oh my God, this is. Yeah, it was very surprising. And then he also shows up in the, like when they show back the audience too, he's there because it was shot in the commercial breaks of the VH1 actual like awards or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And so that's how they were able to get like a lot of these actual people in it. But yeah, no, it's crazy. It's one of those things like Home Alone 2, right?
Right. Everybody talks about like, oh, he's in Home Alone 2, blah, blah, blah. And like,
I don't think people talk enough about the
it had not occurred to me that he could be in another movie I would watch.
Yes. Yeah, no, that was very, very surprising. A young-ish Donald Trump, he was looking a little better back then.
And it is like, he strung that whole sentence together.
Really great.
It makes sense if you're doing a movie in the early 2000s about fashion and models that you would have someone associated with those types of events. But it was like knowing what we know now about him. It really
it's like
threw me for a second.
Yeah, exactly. They're basically like just missing Epstein, it feels like. If he showed up in Zoolander, then because it was also like the New York scene and everything like that. And Donald Trump had a certain thing, and that's why he's in Home Alone 2 as well. Like there's a certain, he came with this certain like, when you think of New York, you thought of Donald Trump in this way. I remember like going in 2012 and already like he was saying some crazy shit at that point, but I remember going to Trump Tower and being like, oh whoa, this is cool, like this, you don't really and then obviously everything changed.
Ocean's 11 not that long ago, and early on in the movie when George Clooney's, I think he's talking on the phone in front of a casino, and it's just a giant all in lights like Trump casino. And it's you don't expect that. I don't expect to see Joe Biden in Wayne's World. You know what I mean? Like
but Joe Biden in Parks and Rec.
Sure.
That was a jump scare for me a little bit when I saw it, because I didn't watch it when it came out. I watched it kind of recently. I was like very surprised. Parks and Rec is one that has like, have you seen that show?
I've seen parts of it. I haven't watched it all the way through.
Yeah. I feel like it's very dated, and it's just like interpretation of politics and things and the way it like views stuff. And even the way it like talks about Joe Biden, it was just like, oh, this is weird. This is very strange. But no, that's interesting. Wow. There's actually a lot to Zoolander that is like, it comes from like a really weird time, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is just like, we live so far away from that. Where Tropic Thunder, it doesn't feel like it's that far away. I don't know.
No, it doesn't. I mean, there are like, especially in Zoolander, there are definitely actors in there where like I exclusively associate them with that role.
Yeah.
Like, I know Mila Jovovich has had like an
Obviously,
extensive career.
No, not Underworld, Resident Evil movies. Yeah.
But I exclusively think of her as Inga, whatever her last name is.
Have you seen
Zoolander.
The Fifth Element?
Yes.
Yeah, I watched that for the first time recently. I was like, whoa! I did not realize, she was in that.
But yeah, no, still Zoolander is still what comes to my mind for. And I mean, Alexander Skarsgård in Zoolander also, like, he's had a much bigger career since this movie.
Yeah.
But I always think of him as one of Derek Zoolander's dumb model friends.
That all burn up and blow up. It's very MacGruber. I don't know if you. I loved MacGruber when I saw that, and I still like. I have a good time when I watch it. But that has just such a great scene as well, where everyone dies that you think is somewhat important, and especially that one is like, we're building a team, and then the team just blows up in the van. Oh my god, it's so good.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. Well, right on. I guess to finish it off, and I appreciate you being here.
Of course.
And who'd have thunk we'd talk over an hour all over the place.
All over the place.
All
Good luck editing.
Yeah, exactly. I won't. But I guess something I like to kind of check in with my guests about is like, do you remember like the movie you remember watching when you were younger, or maybe in your mid-teens or whatever, that you kind of watched it and realized like, oh, and movies are kind of more than just like entertainment. I don't know. And maybe
I guess like there's different phases of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that the first movie I saw in theaters, I don't really remember seeing it in theaters, but I believe it was Toy Story.
Yeah.
Kind of like what we were talking about with some other movies. Definitely a movie that like forever changed a genre and an industry.
Yeah.
But I think that like it sort of started very slowly, and with a lot of those like Disney, especially Disney Renaissance movies, like The Lion King, where like I started getting interested in that, but without realizing that like I was interested in movies specifically. It was like, I'm interested in, there's something about this genre, and then also I'm sure like different cartoons I was watching as a child.
Yeah.
Of like, I'm interested in storytelling, but I don't know in what way. Is it that like I want to draw because these movies are animated? Is it that I want to like create characters that way? Is it that I want to illustrate a book? Is it all these different things? And I think honestly, it probably is around the mid 2000s comedies of like, oh, I can take these storytelling elements, these types of characters from some of these things I was watching as a child, and take this thing that's making people laugh from these mid 2000s comedies. So I don't know that there's a single movie that it all can tie back to, as much as it's like a big hodgepodge of a bunch of different things that all kind of worked together to create that love of cinema.
Oh, cinema. We use the word cinema. I don't think we said cinema yet.
Tropic Thunder are absolute cinema.
Yes, absolute. Marty, eat your heart out, Marty.
Oh yeah. I mean, look, Marty loves to satirize the industry.
Yes,
and by that I mean he was in one episode of The Studio.
Yes, and he won an Emmy.
It's true.
Yes,
he's very funny in that episode.
He is so. I mean, that whole Kool-Aid Man thing is. It's unbelievable how good that was. Oh my God. I was dying. I was absolutely dying. Because it also just feels so real. I mean,
I mean, there is like we've kind of been alluding to, there is a lot about the film industry that is available to satirize. And the studio right now is taking their shots at it. But there's a lot out there. And I think that these two movies, I guess what I want to also add is that these two movies held up a lot better than I thought they would.
I agree.
And maybe I'll have to force my wife to watch Zoolander.
Oh no.
And really put it to the test.
Exactly. We'll have to have you phone in to let us know how that goes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, folks, we really appreciate you listening. Thank you, Chris, for being here and having me in your home, your beautiful home. I'm going to treat your movies here like the Criterion Closet. I'm going to take a handful.
Yeah.
I hope you're okay with that. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. That's a wrap. Bye. Wind Reel and Print is a podcast by Salad Brain Productions.
You can find us on Instagram at Wind Reel and Print Pod.
You can also find us wherever you get your podcasts.
And please, if you like the show, leave a rating and review.
We'll see you next time.